How'd you guys do on your language test yesterday? I hope you did great. We are going to review our parts of speech for every single word of these. Are you ready? I know you're saying no, but we're going to start. Okay, what would hooray be? Hooray is an interjection. The is an adjective. Warriors. This is a person, place, or thing. It's a noun. Are. Is or was where. Are is a verb. Winning. Also a verb. The phrases are winning. The, we already said adjective. Basketball. Basketball normally is a noun, but this is talking about basketball game. So saying what kind of game, it's an adjective. And game is a noun because it's a thing. How'd you do? Let's see, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 words. Did you get all 8 words correctly? Let's look at the next one. We wrote Psalm 32:8 in penmanship class today. What is we? Hopefully you didn't say noun. It's a pronoun. It's a pronoun. Wrote. That's a verb. Psalm 32:8. That's a thing. That's a verse. So that is a noun. In. Did you see the phrase? It's actually a preposition. Preposition. Penmanship. Penmanship could be a noun, but in this case, it is an adjective saying what kind of class. Class is a noun, and today is an adverb saying when you watched penmanship. All right, let's try another one. An unusually large crop of potatoes has just been harvested. And there are always adjectives. Unusually is actually an adverb because it's saying how, to what extent large, unusually large. Remember, adverbs that describe adjectives and other adverbs come right before. Large is an adjective describing crop, so crop is a noun because you can't say unusually crop, so that's why that makes that an adverb too. Of is a preposition. Potatoes. Potatoes is a noun. Has, verb. Just is an adverb. Been is a verb. And harvested is a verb. Has been harvested. How did you do on that one? Let's see. 6, 10 words. Did you get at least 8 words correctly? I hope you did. We're going to skip that one. Well, we're not going to skip this one just for this part. Do you know what mispates is? It's an adjective. It's a possessive saying whose. Okay, we'll do this one as the last one for now. Mother is making our favorite dessert for dinner tonight. Mother, a noun. Is a verb. Making is a verb. Our. What's our? Our is an adjective. Now this is normally a pronoun, but this is saying whose dessert. It's possessive. Our dessert. So this is an adjective. Favorite is an adjective. Dessert is a noun. For is a preposition. Dinner is a noun. Tonight is an adverb saying when. That was a little bit of a trickier one. I hope you were able to get that. Just one more to ask you, what is this word and? And is a conjunction. Fanboy, for and nor, but or yet. Now, how many of you have ever played a match game or a memory game? When I was a little kid, I loved those games because I had like really good short-term memory, so I loved playing those games. As I got to be an adult, we would have like a Christmas party at my old school. Well, we have a Christmas party here, but we would play these games, and one of them was a match game, and we would get timed on how fast we could make these matches. Well, the key with a memory game or a match game, I hope you guys are very good at those, is if you pick, let's say you pick one up and it's a zebra, what do you need to find? That's right. You need to find a matching zebra. You wouldn't want to find a unicorn at this point, even though we love unicorns. If you found a zebra and then you pull the unicorn, no, it's not a match. The same thing is true with our subjects and verbs. Our subjects and verbs, if we find a subject, we want to find a matching verb so that they are a pair, just like our matching pairs of socks. Although mine, for some reason, I've lost about one of each one. So now I have to wear like a pair of dinosaur socks with a matching pair of like sloth socks or something. It's very weird, and I'm telling you the truth. It's really bad that I have no matching pairs of socks, and I have about 50 unmatched socks. I don't know what happens to them. I feel like they get lost somewhere in the dryer. But now we're off topic. Singular. What we're going to do is we're going to find a singular verb to match a singular subject, and we're going to use a plural verb to match a plural subject. So singular verbs usually end in S, like is, makes, bakes, talks. These are all singular. Singular verbs usually end in S, and then we're going to find our subject. We're going to decide if it's singular or plural and choose the matching one. I also like to think of it as a puzzle piece because if you have a singular subject, like she, that doesn't really have an S at the end, so your verb will have an S at the end usually, and they're both singular. Does that make sense? That's why I think of it like a puzzle piece. So if one has this missing part, then the one that fits will have it. You're not going to have one that goes in matching one that goes in. It's an in would match one that goes out. Does that make sense? I hope so. So let's look at this one over here. Olivia is or are the fastest runner on the track team. Shout out to Olivia. Woo woo. So, Olivia is or are the fastest runner on the track team. Olivia, is she singular or plural? She's singular. There's only one of her. So, Olivia, we're going to pick a singular verb. Now, singular verbs usually end in S. Right. So, we're going to pick our singular verb of is. And let's read it now. Olivia is the fastest runner on the track team. That makes sense. To say Olivia are the fastest runner, that does not make sense. Now, we know how to find singular subjects and singular subjects or plural subjects because we did a whole unit on singular and plural. But now we're trying to find our singular verbs to match. The choir members sing or sings well. What is the subject? The subject is not choir. The subject is members. Choir is an adjective describing members. Members, is that singular or plural? Yeah, it's plural. There's more than one. So this one has an S, and then an S is plural, so our verb is not going to end in S and is plural. Does that make sense? The choir members sing well. Otherwise, you'd have the choir member sings well, and that would not make sense. We are going in our books to page 231 using words correctly, using subjects and verbs correctly. We're matching our subjects to our verbs. Sometimes you may be unsure about which words are correct. And so I'm reading on page 231. You go there and follow along with me in the blue section. Sometimes you may be unsure about which words are correct. Your teacher and parents have to correct you for using expressions like, he don't like this. Your parents will say, no, it's he doesn't. Or if you said, here's mom and dad. Or if you said, go lay down. And you say, some of you might be saying, how is that bad? It's actually correct is using the word lie. Go lie down. And then here are mom and dad. Study this chapter, listen to good speakers, read good books, and speak good English. You will soon learn to use words correctly. Start by learning these simple rules for subject-verb agreement. We have learned that nouns and pronouns can be singular or plural. Verbs can also be singular or plural. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Say that with me. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Now say it deeply. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Now whisper it. A singular subject takes a singular verb. All right, now I want you to say it like you're underwater. A singular subject takes a singular verb. Okay, good. Our teacher sings well. A teacher, that's one, sings with an S. Why, thank you. Just kidding, I don't. The next one. Tyler is the fastest runner on the track team, and Tyler's one is singular. Next, a plural subject takes a plural verb. So the choir members sing well. Members sing. Our boys are faster runners than the boys on the other team. Boys is more than one, and are is plural. The pronoun you would think it might be singular, but it's actually plural every time. Because you would say, Noah, you are late. You wouldn't say, Noah, you is late. That's improper grammar. Boys, you is early. No, you say you are early. It takes plural. An S ending is often a sign of a singular verb and a sign of a plural subject. They are opposites, and that's what I was telling you over here. If our singular verbs usually end in S, and our singular subjects do not. But our our plural subjects end in S, and our plural verbs usually do not. And let's see, runs, that's singular. Dogs, that's plural. The verbs am, is, was, has, and does are singular. Notice how every one of them except for am ends in an S. The verbs are, were, have, and do are plural. When a sentence contains a verb phrase, it is the helping verb that must agree with the subject. So if you are looking at a big long phrase, just look at the helping verb to see that it matches. For example, it says the farmer is harvesting. All you'd be looking at is the is. The farmer is one and is singular. Farmer is. Cows, that's plural. Are is plural. Does that make sense? I mean, some of it will make more sense the longer we go with it, and you'll get it, don't worry. So we are on page 232. Write singular in the blank if the subjects and verbs are singular, and write plural if they're plural. Students, now I'll give you a hint. I would look at the subject to help you. Number 1, students recite. Students recite. That is plural, right. She says. She, that's one, that's singular, and then says, notice, has an S. It's the opposite. Friendship, that's I know it sounds like, oh, friendship, that's lots of things. No, but friendship is one. It's talking about one friendship. Friendship is. So they're both singular. Duck quacks. So the subject doesn't end in S, but the verb does. He, singular, prays, singular. We sang. That is plural. We is more than one. Children say. Children is plural. Say is plural. So children, now notice neither of those end in S, but children is plural because it's more than one child. We is plural, so it has no S at the end for sing. Does that make sense? Next, number 8, cookies, that's more than one, so that's plural. Bake, no S. Number 9, disciples, that's more than one, plural. Preach, no S for the verb. The day, that's one thing, was, singular. They, plural. Try, no S. Does that make sense? Snake, one, no S on the subject. Hisses, it ends in S. Frogs, multiple frogs, so that's plural. Croak. Frogs has an S, croak does not. People, that is plural, that's more than one. People do. Do doesn't have an S because it is plural matching a plural. Now it says, now we just did all of those together, so you should have that first section done. Now think B says, on notebook paper, make the singular subjects and verbs in think A plural, make the plural one singular. They want you to do the opposite. I'm not gonna have you write those down, so you don't have to write those on notebook paper, but you do have to listen to me and do this with me, okay? So students recite, how would we make that singular? Student recites. Does that make sense? Okay, instead of saying she, one, says, we say, what would be a multitude of she's? Yeah, they. They say. Friendship, to make it plural, we would say friendships. Friendships are. Friendships are. Ducks, now we have multiple of ducks. Ducks quack. Instead of he prays, it is, a multitude of he's is they. Yeah, he prays, they pray. No S anymore. Does that make sense? Instead of saying we sang, a multitude of, if we're saying we sang, what's one? Yeah, I. I sang. Yeah, you wouldn't say I sangs. That doesn't make sense. There's no sayings. Sayings is not a word. Children say. So children, what would be one? One child. Child says. So it says saying cookies bake, cookie bakes. Instead of saying disciples preach, disciple preaches. Instead of saying the day was, the days were. Instead of saying they try, it could be it could be he tries, or you could have said she tries. Instead of saying snake hisses, that's singular, snakes hiss. Instead of saying frogs croak, frog croaks. And changing people do to one, it's person does. How was that? Did you get that? Did you like that? Was that pretty easy? Now think C. Write yes if the following subjects and verbs agree. Write no if they do not agree. So if they're correct, match made in heaven. Woohoo! If not, okay. Ready to go over these? Number 1, pirates, that's plural, robs, singular. Pirates robs. No, you wouldn't say the pirates robs me. No, it's the pirate. It's incorrect. He don't. You're like, that doesn't even sound right. No, he is singular and don't is plural, so it does not match. I are. No, not a match. I is one and R is plural. He is. Singular, singular. Yes! Woohoo! We finally have one. Horses is running. Now, horses is plural. Is, we just look at the little is, and is singular. Horses is. So plural and singular do not match together. No. Next, costumes glitter. Plural, plural, yes. Monitor watches. Singular, singular. Yes, it's a match. Soldiers marches. Soldiers marches. There's a multitude of soldiers, so that's plural, and marches is singular. Does a plural and a singular go? No, and there's 2 S's. We don't like that. Number 9, lady smiles. One lady, singular subject, singular verb. Yes. Eyes makes. No. That's a plural, eyes, and then makes is singular. It is. Yes. That matches. They don't. They don't. Yes, that matches. Clocks tick. Yes, that matches. It's a plural and a plural. Plane is finished. Sorry. That would actually go, but the word is actually plans is finished. Plans is plural and is singular. It does not match. Country celebrates. Singular, singular, yay! Classroom sparkles. Singular, singular, yay! It does. Shopper, buy. Shopper, buy. Shoppers, singular, buy is plural. No. Friend, are coming. Friend is singular, are coming is plural. No, boo. They, was. They is plural, was is singular. No. Computers, plural, solve, plural. Yes! Woo! At least we ended on a good note. On notebook paper, rewrite correctly all the subjects and verbs in thing C that do not agree. Change the verbs so that they will agree with the subjects. So we're keeping the subject and we're changing the verb. And like I said, you do not need to write this today. We're just doing this orally together. So when you're done with this video, you're done with language class, okay? Let's go back to all the no's and fix them to make them agree with the subject. So number 1 is pirates robs. So we would change that to pirates rob, okay? Number 2, he don't, we should match the don't to he. So it's he doesn't. Instead of saying I are, it should be I am. Instead of saying horses is running, it's horses are running. Instead of saying number 8, soldiers marches, it's soldiers march. Instead of saying for number 10, eyes makes, it should be eyes make. Instead of saying we're on number 14. Plans is finished. Plans are finished. Instead of saying number 17, shopper buy, it's shopper buys. And then number 18, instead of saying friend are coming, it's friend is coming. And instead of saying they was, it should be they were. Let's just go over this really quickly. Find the subject first in your sentences. Decide if your subject is singular or plural and choose the matching one. If you have a singular verb, it usually ends in S. But remember, singular subjects are the opposite. Singular subjects do not usually end in S. And singular verbs usually end in S, and plural verbs usually do not. Alright, that's it for today for language of matching our subjects and verbs. Play a match game or do something to help you remember that subjects and verbs always match. I'll see you tomorrow.